Welcome to Newsmax TV. I'm Kathleen Walter. With us now from Washington is Representative Ted Poe, Republican from Texas, and a member of the House Judiciary and Foreign Affairs Committees. And Representative Poe, welcome back to Newsmax TV.
Good to talk to you, Kathleen.
Well, Representative Poe, you filed a bill calling for action against the Benghazi suspects. What can you tell us about this bill?
Well, it's been a year, as we all know, since our ambassador and 3 others were murdered in Benghazi. We haven't really done anything. The government hasn't arrested the killers. We know that Ansar al-Sharia took credit for the homicides the day of the murder a year ago. So today, on the anniversary, I filed legislation to make the terrorist group Ansar al-Sharia a foreign terrorist organization, designate them as that, and that gives us the ability to do more to capture those killers after we labeled them a foreign terrorist organization. That's the legislation I have filed.
And what kind of support have you received so far?
Well, we're getting really a lot of support, mainly among the conservatives so far, but the bill was just filed. We will still work the bill to get a bipartisan support for this legislation.
And I understand you recently signed on to a resolution calling for a select committee to investigate Benghazi. Can you share with us why you feel such a committee is needed?
It's because really it's been too long for us to receive adequate answers as to what happened in Benghazi. We've been getting lots of information, but it's not really information that's very helpful. We still have the administration under this philosophy, as Jay Carney said, that was a long time ago. So the administration, in my opinion, stonewalling information about Benghazi. When reporters can go sit down and have coffee with the killers in Libya, and yet we can't capture these individuals, something is wrong with our government, the most powerful nation that ever existed. With the NSA and the CIA and the FBI can't capture these individuals? Well, it's time for a select committee now to investigate this and really delve into it, get the information, hold the people accountable, not only that killed the 4 Americans, but hold people in the administration accountable for their lack of inaction in rescuing them.
And turning to Syria now, with the Syria plan in limbo, President Obama last night asked Congress to delay a vote whether to authorize him to utilize military strikes. In his speech, the president said he was neither fully embracing the diplomatic option nor taking military action off the table. Do you think that the president made a persuasive case last night for his policy, and do you think it'll work?
I do not believe that the president's speech last night is going to make much of a difference in how members of Congress will vote. The president is really campaigning for war. Country's war weary. We need to have a vote in the House of Representatives and in the Senate on this very issue. One way or the other, he needs to know that the American Congress does not support a war with Syria. So I say let's go ahead and vote. I filed a resolution as well saying that we need to move forward with a vote immediately. Let the President know that the Congress does not want funds, American funds, going to support an aggressive war, and that is an aggressive war when you fire a missile into another country with Syria. And take that off the table immediately. Let him know that he has to figure out another solution to save face here, since he drew this red line about the chemical weapons.
And Representative Poe, what are the lessons that we should draw today, 9/11, in dealing with the current crisis with Syria and its ally, Iran?
Well, the first thing we need to understand is that there is a serious civil war going on in Syria between the government and the rebels. On the side of the government, Russia, Iran, Hezbollah, terrorist organization, and then on the side of the rebels you have the Free Syrian Army, Saudi Arabia, Turkey, Qatar, Egypt, and Al-Qaeda. You have a religious war going on. You have 2 terrorist groups fighting each other. This is a civil war. The United States should not get involved in this civil war. We need to understand that Hezbollah, Syria, is a puppet of Iran, and we eventually have to deal with Iran. But far as Syria goes, the United States needs to stay out of this war. We have found by intervening in North Africa, in Libya, and in Egypt, when the United States intervenes into these countries, we have been making the situation worse. So that should be the lesson we should learn from Syria.
And last question for you, Representative. President Obama has pulled troops from the Mideast, killed bin Laden, and increased drone strikes. In your view, is this a viable anti-terror policy? And are we any safer now as a nation than we were that fateful day 12 years ago?
Well, I think we're about as safe as we were on 9/11. There are certainly actions taking place throughout the world to protect American interest against Al-Qaeda. We're doing a lot here in the homeland, especially to protect America. We have to be very vigilant, continue to do that. I don't know that Americans feel any safer now than they did 12 years ago because Al-Qaeda is still determined to do us harm. And contrary to what the administration says, they are not on the run. They are growing. They're growing in North Africa. Their influence is growing in the Syrian civil war. They mean business, and they're not going away. The United States has a long-term involvement in keeping Al-Qaeda in check. And I think the President understands that, and we should continue at least with the current policy of drone strikes where appropriate.
All right, Representative Ted Poe, Republican from Texas. As always, good to speak with you. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Kathleen.
And thank you for watching Newsmax TV.